Hello, my dear friend. Don't mind the rain outside. It's been going on for a while now. A good day for a story, wouldn't you say? Make sure you're comfortable. Maybe something warm to drink. Perhaps a soft blanket. Let me tell you a little tale. It's a story that always makes me think. Yes, it begins on a quiet Friday. There once was a little boy, about 9 years old. A thoughtful one. Polite, gentle, you know the type. It was a Friday afternoon when he came home from school. Not a bad day, not a particularly great one either, just a day. He had his usual seat at the kitchen table, twirling spaghetti around his fork while his parents talked softly beside him. They told him they'd be going out for dinner that evening. A nice place, nothing too far. He barely reacted, just nodded between bites. You see, it wasn't the first time he'd been left alone for a while. He was a responsible little fellow. Still, his parents had a soft spot for their boy. Before leaving, they'd gotten him 3 new plush friends, a fox, a piglet, and a little bunny, to keep him company while they were out. He carefully placed them into his colorful toy shelf upstairs, which had bright, varied cabinet doors, red, blue, green. Ah, yes, speaking of shelves. That reminds me of a time when my friend Orville tried to build me one. It was a plain wooden thing, no colors at all, just a sort of light, honey-colored finish. Very rustic. Well, it collapsed after a few days. Ever since then, I don't let Orville build anything more complicated than a sandwich. But, well, anyway, back to the story. The boy spent the early afternoon playing with his plush animals, imagining wild adventures. Sometimes the couch became a pirate ship, and the floor? Oh, the floor was the roaring sea. He wasn't lonely, not really. His imagination kept him quite busy. Around 5 p.m., his mother called him downstairs one more time. She reminded him, "No stove, no oven. Be careful, sweetheart. You've got food in the fridge and your toys upstairs." She kissed him on the forehead. They left around 7. The door closed, and the house fell quiet. An almost heavy silence, the kind that settles thick in the air when no one else is home. Still, he wasn't afraid, not at first. He went back upstairs, curled up on his bed, and continued playing with his plush friends. He liked the bunny best. Soft ears, stitched eyes, just the right size. Time passed. Outside, clouds had begun to gather. He didn't notice at first, not until he started to feel a stillness, a hush, like the sky was holding its breath. He decided to go downstairs to grab something from the fridge, maybe a juice box. He stepped toward the stairs, placed his foot on the top wooden step. He froze, startled by a sudden booming thunderclap. It rattled the windows and his little heart. He stumbled back, fell to the floor, hands catching the wood beneath him. No injuries, just surprise. He sprang up, ran back into his room, and shut the door tight. Outside, the storm had arrived. First came the patter of raindrops on the window, then wind. Loud, pressing wind that shook the trees surrounding the house. The boy peeked through the glass. The blue sky was now swallowed by gray. Lightning flashed, bright and wild. He counted the seconds. 1, 2, then the thunder. He crawled into his bed and pulled the blanket over his head. His 3 plush friends were tucked in beside him. He whispered to them, just like he always did when he was scared. They didn't speak back, of course, but somehow that made it easier to say anything. You know, it's a funny thing how children can give their secrets to stuffed animals. When I was younger, I used to talk to a wooden spoon. Don't look at me like that. It was a good spoon. Anyway, for a while the boy listened to the trees tapping against his window, to the wind whistling between cracks in the walls, to the far-off thunder rolling through the hills. He missed his parents. He imagined them at the restaurant, smiling under candlelight, his mother with that little laugh, his father pouring water into a glass, and yet he was safe, wrapped in covers, surrounded by his little plush defenders. He glanced again at the toy shelf across the room, the blue door. That one always reminded him of the sky. Now the sky looked nothing like that door, and yet it made him feel stronger, blue like bravery. The storm went on for quite some time. It must have been nearly 10 p.m. when he finally heard something different. Footsteps on the porch, wet shoes, a key in the door. And there they were, his parents, finally home. Their shoes squelched against the floor. They brought with them the smell of rain and warm night air. The boy didn't rush down right away. He just smiled, because somehow, even though the thunder still rumbled... Funny thing, isn't it? Even when the thing you're scared of is still out there, it can feel so much smaller when someone brings a little warmth through the door.